Welcome to Super Tuesday, presented by Progressive. From Reed Arena, we're in Aggie Land for Kentucky and Texas A&M in Bryan College Station, Texas. Two teams trying to finish strong with 2 to go. Desperate times for A&M. The Aggies on the right side of the bubble coming into tonight with LSU remaining after Kentucky, and everybody trying to make some moves, just like Colin Chandler did Saturday against Vanderbilt. He poured in a career-high 23 on 6 of 8 from deep and gave Kentucky another element in its backcourt. With that, we welcome you to the SEC on ESPN. Final week of the regular season, and Kentucky trying to position itself for the SEC tournament that could finish anywhere from the 3 seed to the 10 seed. Meanwhile, A&M just trying to finish strong. And with that, we welcome you courtside. Tom Hart alongside Jimmy Dykes. Welcome to Aggie Land, and welcome to Push Comes to Shove for A&M. This turns into a must-win.
No doubt, Tom. When you're on the cut line like A&M is, every possession just feels enormous. I've been there as a head coach, so you got 2 hours right now there for the Aggies to get that win that I think locks you up in that NCAA tournament. It won't be easy. Kentucky's playing really good basketball, maybe their best of the SEC season Saturday against Vanderbilt.
Well, they've had to reinvent themselves numerous times this season. They have found a point guard. Denzel Aberdeen over the last 4 has a 4-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio.
Yeah, he is playing beautiful basketball right from that lead guard spot, not turning it over. He has not had 1 turnover in the last 2 games. If Aberdeen has another game tonight with no turnovers, man, the Cats go back to Lexington, I think, with a win. Value that basketball against this Aggie pressure defense. Priority number 1 for Mark Pope.
And the tip controlled by Oweh. He stole it and stole an early whistle against Zach Clements.
You knew it was coming because Kentucky was going to win the tip. A taller team at all 5 spots, and Oweh just snags that ball and gets to the rim within 4 seconds.
Oweh 72% from the free throw line on this season, and the quick start didn't give us a chance to note that Texas A&M is rolling out this starting 5 for the first time all season. Bucky McMillan telling us at shoot-around today he's looking for more production out of his backcourt, and so he sent a message in shoot-around today. It'll be Isaacs, Hill, and Dioubate in the backcourt, Clements and Federico.
Well, 2 and 7 are the primary three-point shooters in that starting lineup. Both of them over 40%. If you're Kentucky, you cannot let the Aggies get to that 10-11 make mark from that three-point line.
Sean Agee is their leading scorer, 14 a game. He starts this game on the bench. Hill, nice body control, is able to convert. Meanwhile, mentioned Denzel Aberdeen running the point. He's going to have to deal with this A&M pressure. 4 assists to 0.25 turnovers, his ratio over the last 4.
Tom, excuse me, it's not just after a make. The Aggies will also jam that basketball after a miss. It's just nonstop pressure from the home team.
Wow, what a feed from Moreno, the back cut by Oweh.
Just burn that pressure off. It's called a burn cut, and Oweh, as good as anybody in this league, executing it.
Here's Clements, the Kansas transfer, puts a spin move on Jelavic, and then gets fouled by Moreno.
Well, Oweh is a force with and without the basketball. He is a downhill demon, and he just sets that back cut up, taking that defender 1 step higher, planting that high foot, and everything he does with force, he does well.
So here's Clements. He's a graduate out of San Antonio, Sunrise Christian, and then KU for 3 seasons. He's playing behind Hunter Dickinson and KJ Adams, some big size there for Kansas.
Tommy, he's had some big games this year. 20 against Missouri. I saw him go for 29 last week at Arkansas. And he's capable because he's so good from the three-point line and in as a 6'11 kid.
Kentucky fighting fire with fire. Break the press for a transition 3.
You cannot let Colin Chandler ease into those transition 3s. I think the challenge for the Aggies, not how many Colin Chandler makes tonight, how many do we allow him to get off?
Isaac steps through and kisses it off the glass for the first bucket for the Creighton transfer. And Oweh, attacking that press, is able to solve it and take it coast to coast, and he picks up an offensive foul.
Well, we don't see that call too often in college ball anymore, but Jason Baker right on top of it. The Aggies are pretty good at extending that full court pressure, but they do secure the rim. They keep a guy back, And this time it's Zach Clemens. He's just sitting there waiting on it.
Well, Kentucky's been really aggressive against the press. Good call now on replay. You like it?
Yeah, it's Mark Pope saying you raise the heels up. He's not in that restricted arc. It's an interesting call in transition, trying to decide who's the primary defender, who's the secondary defender.
And so Pope is going to ask him to go to the monitor and review this. And at play is the personal foul on his star, Oweh. In addition, a possession as well.
The following is a coach's challenge by Kentucky, whether the Texas A&M's feet were in the RA or not.
That's be the restricted area, the little arc right there in the lane.
So, Tom, the rule book says in or above the restricted arc. It used to say in, on, or above. I don't know why we changed it. But inside or above that restricted arc. And I believe the heels of Clemens are above that restricted arc. Look right there. That's exactly what you're looking at. And I wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't get overturned. Clemens right there. Now his feet aren't on the ground, but they are above that restricted arc.
Which is different than any other boundary on the court, right?
Yes.
Three-point line, as long as you're not touching it, you can be above it, but you started from behind, it's good. Same thing stepping out of bounds.
No doubt, yeah. So it's a good, quick catch by that Kentucky bench.
After video review, coach's challenge from Kentucky is confirmed and correct. The foul will now be placed on number 7, Clemens, for Texas A&M for his right foot being in the RA.
That's a really, really good catch and a quick catch by that Kentucky bench. And Clemens just didn't quite get those feet outside that arc before he got set. And Mark Pope saves a foul on his guy and puts one on Zach Clemens as well.
And it's a second on Clemens. And that's what Bucky McMillan is talking to KB Burdett about. Like, hey, listen, not only did you make a change, but you sent my guy to the bench. Now, the good news for A&M, they have one of the best benches in the country. Second best with 36.2 points per game coming from reserves, more representative of their style of play as Oweh knocks down the first.
We know this about Oweh. He's made 98 two-point shots in conference play and just 23s. That equates to him getting to that free throw line 7 or 8 times a game. Because he finds contact, plays well off of it and through it.
Oweh has 6 of Kentucky's 9. Rashawn Agee is the leading scorer. He's off the bench for the first time less than a minute and a half in. Rylan Griffin fires. And it's Grout on the offensive rebound by Marcus Hill. Agee draws a whistle. And that's the second on Moreno.
So, Tom, when you're playing against a team like A&M that's going to take 30 to 35 three-point shots and try to make 10 or 11, if you're Kentucky tonight, you have to rebound the elbows down. It's not around the restricted arc. It's the elbow area rebounds that are so critical when you take on Bucky McMillan's team.
Correction, the last foul was on Denzel Aberdeen. And so Agee in his 7th year of college basketball, 77% from the free throw line.
And Mark Pope telling his guys today in terms of defensive rebounds, we got to clean it up 15 feet and in, not 8 feet and in. Just a different mindset.
Kentucky is 4th in the league in defensive rebound percentage. They pull down 71% of their opponent's misses.
Tom, it's a zone look, but at times off of an elbow touch or a nail catch, Aggies will then transition to man. Here they go.
Play zone about 13% of the time, so they're very comfortable in it. Chandler dribbles it off of his foot, and it'll be a backcourt violation. Would have likely been a shot clock violation anyway. Mark Pope has talked about unforced errors for Kentucky. When they don't play well, they seem to get in their own way.
They can get themselves in trouble, and Chandler's going to have a lot of pressure on him tonight. He's coming off a Saturday where he made 6 threes. The Aggies are going to try to top block him. They're going to try to blow up every dribble handoff action. And Colin Chandler's going to have to be strong with that basketball in the half court.
Agee spins on Moreno. Veteran versus rookie. And Agee gets his first bucket coming off of a 22-point game in a home loss to Texas. And Aberdeen trapped in the corner. A&M thought that that went off of Kentucky, and Bucky McMillan will decide if they want to challenge it.
It's interesting how the officials will kind of just pause the action a little bit, understanding coaches are taking a look at it. A good job by Don Daly and the crew, but you cannot inbound that ball in that coffin corner. And that's off.
I think the A&M bench thought that it hit Agee's right hand off of the carom, and now he's got the interception, and A&M coming back the other way. An A&M team that got off to a rollicking start, up and down the court, and still one of the best offenses in college basketball. 11th in the nation in scoring, but the shooting has really fallen off for this team. Agee drawing extra eyes. 6 on the shot clock. Contested 3 for Griffin. Good.
Well, Agee, if anything, he's the point and the playmaker in that Aggie half-court offense. He can be the point guard from up top. He can also pick you apart as a low-post passer.
Aberdeen finds Moreno on the short roll, and he in turn finds Jelavic. You can't get it to go. Hill driving on Chandler. Kentucky against Vanderbilt was 12 for 14 at the rim. Moreno especially was effective inside. Not so much here tonight. Dioubate for 3. And Oweh will push. And that will go against A&M.
Tommy mentioned Colin Chandler on Saturday shooting. Look at it again, right?
What an odd start to this when we've already had a challenge and a near challenge. And now Brandon Garrison on the floor for Kentucky as Mark Pope goes to the bench for the first time. Gets Dioubate out there as well. Dioubate, after fumbling it, controls it and delivers.
Well, I think you see the issue for Texas A&M. Can they keep Oweh out of the lane in this game? And it's a big concern because those Aggie guards are not physical defenders in the half court.
Josh Holloway draws the whistle.
I'm Colin Chandler. You were there. 6 threes against Vanderbilt on Saturday. And there's a lot of things about his jump shot that I love, and we're going to break it down when he come back. Not a better shooter in the SEC right now than 5 in blue tonight. Why is Colin Chandler a 49% three-point shooter in SEC play? A couple of basics that all great shooters have. He has tremendous, strong balance every time. His feet, Tom, are just slightly outside of his armpits, but they're always consistent. That right elbow is always under the ball, and he just has a full extension, snaps the wrist. And then as you break him down even deeper, I think he gives himself grace as a shooter. He forgets his misses. They don't bother him quite as much as non-shooters, but that rise and release, he consistently from the three-point line, his basketball rotates about 3.5 times from release to the rim. Just a lot of things that I see in his shot that I've seen from great shooters over the years. The other thing that stands out to me about his shot, Tom, he drops his rear end on the catch, but he doesn't drop the ball. He's not a ball dropper. The ball is always there, up and in. Just a very simplified shooting form that he developed, he told me, in Utah.
Josh Holloway at the free throw line.
Growing up, a neighbor about 4 houses up had a goal that could crank up and down. So he started off with a low goal and a smaller ball, which is a great way to develop form as a young kid. And all great shooters know where they learn to shoot, and for him is on a driveway back in Utah.
Well, I love what you said about Mark Pope, talking about that short memory. Pope said, great shooters can survive a miss. Most of us can't take a fail. But Colin Chandler, 8 for his last 12 for deep after going 1 for 6 the game prior. Here's Dioubate, powers his way inside and rolls it over the front of the rim.
And that is his game as well. He goes through you, not around you. He and Oweh could have big numbers because the lack of physical play defensively for Texas A&M.
Holloway turns it over, and Don Daly will correct it. That thing got tipped by Kentucky, and now the Kentucky bench will make sure it did. One of the reasons this has been such a choppy start is every whistle has been considered by the opposing bench.
I just hope we get to the offseason where the appeals and the challenges all fall under the same umbrella, and we just have a limited number, one per half. We get back to playing basketball with a much better rhythm.
Here's Isaacs, guarded up top by Garrison. Holloway to Agee. And he's intercepted. Oweh with the takeaway. Deep to Garrison, who had Holloway trying to hold him. And the size advantage for Kentucky is obvious early. Kentucky 18th in the country in team average height at 6'8". A&M comes in at about 6'6.5".
So, Tom, because of that height advantage and size advantage for the team in blue, the Aggies, they have to drag Kentucky into their style of game. A back-and-forth game, 74, 75 possessions is what the home team wants.
Rylan Griffin, the steal, he takes it all the way, and it's tipped out and out of bounds off of A&M.
And a good job by Oweh to get back and bother Rylan Griffin just a little bit without fouling. Oweh, such a stud as a two-way player. He competes his backside off on both ends of the floor.
A&M won't press every possession, on average 41%. It just seems like they do.
Yeah.
And Mark Pope saying they're at their best when they make you speed up, especially as a shooter, and bring chaos to the court. Here's Jasper Johnson, the freshman, into a three.
Well, if Jasper Johnson has an offseason that increases his strength and his explosiveness with the ball, man, does he go to a whole new level next year as a sophomore.
That's stuck behind Holloway on the screen. Here's Dominguez, whose confidence seemingly has fallen off. He was shooting lights out earlier this season. Dominguez passes up on the three, turns it into a mid-range two. At a school record, and there's Garrison on their other end with a run out the jam.
And then what a pass by Colin Chandler. Just threw that thing over the top like a wide receiver running a streak pattern.
Now, Kentucky obviously attacking everything A&M throws at them in terms of the additional pressure. Griffin drives and kicks into the corner. A&M is not a good corner three-point shooting team. Back out to Griffin. Here's Holloway. And with the left hand.
A really good job by Holloway to shot fake, get the defense off, find his way down that left side.
Full court pressure again. Johnson guarded by the veteran Isaacs, who started his career at Texas Tech before going to Creighton. Sidelined early last season with a hip injury. Garrison on the short roll, another bucket inside.
Yeah, it's just too easy. That's just simple two-man game up top. You got shooters on the wings. Kentucky is so good 4 or 5 times a half in a simple two-man pick and roll middle action.
Oweh fighting over the screen, gets tied up with Isaacs, who then gets into Garrison. And Garrison charged with his first, and Isaacs took a shot to the nose.
Tom, because of the gravity ability of guys like Colin Chandler on the floor, that middle third for Kentucky is open more than it's closed. And that's the value of a guy like Chandler and Jasper Johnson when he's on the wing. It puts so much pressure on your tag defender who's supposed to rotate over and take away the big. It's just very difficult to do.
Dioubate inside. Noah had his hand on the rebound, but back to Dioubate. And now Hill with the baseline drive. It's not just chaos on the defensive end for Texas A&M. Jimmy, they make it look chaotic on the offensive end as well.
Yeah, they spread you out. They attack gaps hard and heavy. They live off of the second paint touch in the possession, talking about the Aggies. It's not the first paint touch. It's the second paint touch where they get you in defensive rotation, and then good things happen in this buckyball system, which Ryland Griffin describes it as a dog with zoomies. It's a pretty good description, talking to him about it.
Offensive foul charge of Jasper Johnson trying to work his way across the court. Kentucky has turned it over now 4 times in this game. And that negates the hot shooting. 88% on 7 of 8 from the floor. Isaacs for 3. A&M needed that one, and a big rebound by Dioubate. Here comes Johnson. Garrison again, and again a high percentage look.
Well, Kentucky has found something on film coming in. They realize that the Aggies, they don't protect that middle third in transition defense very well.
And then a costly turnover. Kentucky not only has 8 makes, the Cats have assisted on 7 of those buckets. 8 for 9 from the floor to start. Didn't think they'd get off to a better start than they did against Vandy in the home game on Saturday, but here we are. Hill working on Noah. Gets indoor. Left it short. Follow is good.
Watch Texas A&M now jam this basketball. You try all you can to keep from catching it in the corner, throw them different looks. Good job by Chandler.
Cats haven't missed consecutive shots yet tonight. Here's Chandler from the corner. And there it is. Federico the rebound.
Boy, that is his spot, though, is it not?
Deba swatted by Garrison. Prior to that, a foul that I believe will be charged to Jasper Johnson. It's a 6-point lead for Kentucky. Timeout on the floor at Reed Arena. Jimmy Dykes here in Aggieland, where Texas A&M needs to find a win against Kentucky or LSU to try to carry some momentum into the postseason and the SEC tournament. Kentucky 8 for 11, but 4 turnovers, and A&M 5 points off of those turnovers. Big difference at the rim. The Cats 5 for 6, and A&M only 3 for 7. Here's Ali Deba at the free throw line. Jim, you think about what's on the line for Kentucky and so much to be decided in this final week. Their Nashville opportunities lay out like WTF. They could be playing on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, depending on how everything shakes out.
One extreme to the other for Kentucky. But I like this Kentucky team. I think they found their groove. Talking to Mark Pope today, watching them practice, they had a lively spirit about them. They still love ball. Not a lot of teams out there right now can say that truly about them. And those 3 guards, to me, Oweh, and Chandler, and Aberdeen, are a real problem every night.
Zone again for Texas A&M. Meanwhile, on the Kentucky bench, something you don't see every day. Otega Oweh way off the mark, tracks it down. Got to hit the rim. There's 3 on the shot clock. Aberdeen pump fake. And got it at the buzzer. They're going to double check, but right now that's just a 2.
How about Aberdeen not feeling the shot clock pressure? A lot of guys get rushed and sped up, and not Aberdeen. Veteran play from an older guy.
Meanwhile, it is sunset here in Aggieland, and Mohamed Dioubate, who's observing Ramadan, just broke his fast on the bench with some water and applesauce. Aberdeen with the float. Imagine trying to play through a 2-hour game with no water.
With no water at all. And Kentucky being so aggressive in their press breaker. They call those nuggets. Those are like as valuable as gold, man, when you just right down the throat of that pressure defense.
Griffin, no answer. Grilled or fried nuggets?
Probably grilled, going healthy. As you're talking about with Mo Dioubate, man, what a warrior. And just playing right through what his faith asked him to do. And I'm a big fan of Mo Dioubate. I mean, he is who he is. The most physical guy right there with Otega Oweh that you have to have in this league.
Often his game days during Ramadan start with an early wake-up time. Jelavic with the jam as they break the press again. And right before his first prayer of the day, he'll get a big meal in at about 5:30 a.m. before sunrise, and then fast throughout. And that's a real challenge when they're playing late afternoon games. Hill off the glass, and another miss in the paint for A&M.
The Kentucky bigs are causing a lot of damage in their press offense. Just owning the rim and the real estate around that restricted arc early.
Moreno carries it over the inline, and will send it back to A&M.
You cannot let the Aggies make you play with your brakes on. And Kentucky has gone right at that extended pressure, and it's been Jelavic, it's been Garrison, it's been Moreno running down that middle third, getting out in front of the defense, making plays.
Kentucky 6 for 7 at the rim. On the way to a 10-point lead. And 9 assists on 11 buckets for Kentucky tonight. A&M got off to a good start, really struggled. 2 for their last 14.
This will be zoom or flex for Rylan Griffin. There's the zoom action. When he goes to the corner, it is like money.
Clemens spins on Jelavic. They really have made it a point to attack Jelavic. Griffin to Agee. 3 on the shot clock. And rebounded by Noah. This is an A&M team that has shown the ability to put a lot of points on the board. They've scored 90 points or more 12 times this season. But after a great start to league play, they've really come crashing back down to earth. Oweh, Moreno again.
Man, has he progressed. Just a very simple, quick zoom action from Moreno up top. Delivers that ball and then dives out of it. He has really developed. I talk about him a lot, Tom. Just a three-point shot away from making a ton of money, man, as a pro.
Cats on an 8-0 run. Oweh had the opportunity to hit Jelavic on the break, but decided against it. Here's Noah. And now Pop Isaacs. A&M has missed its last 7 field goal attempts. That'll get him off the schneid. Dominguez with the 3.
Yeah, he has really struggled lately. Just 7 made threes in his past 8 games, but that's what he is, a three-point specialist.
He hasn't even been shooting that much, only 6 attempts from the floor over his last 5 games. Jelavic. Easy board for Agee. And now Griffin. And Agee's able to get the timeout, carrying it across the sideline. It's a 9-point Kentucky lead.
Well, good start for Kentucky. They're moving the ball well, and there's that simple 2-man game out of zoom that Moreno, the dribble handoff to Oweh, and Oweh, a big guard, man, finds that seam. And Dominguez right there. I know the percentages are down the last 8 games, but you've got to be up and switch high and hot on Dominguez. Tom, I think there's a real argument to be made about Michaela Blakes being the National Player of the Year. I know folks are going to say, wait, what about Sarah Strong from UConn? And both those kids have carried their teams to magical seasons. But if Michaela Blakes has an outstanding SEC tournament, I think there's a strong argument that could be made for her as a National Player of the Year.
Pop Isaacs with the steal and bucket for Texas A&M. One of the only things getting in the Cats' way tonight has been the turnovers. That's the 5th of the game for Kentucky. Aberdeen still doesn't have one over the last 2 games plus. Aberdeen goes baseline. Back out to Dioubate, 4 on the shot clock. Oh, Dioubate down the lane. And A&M with great defense. Isaacs behind the back to Hill. Now, Bucky McMillan talked to his team about playing with great energy and fight, and pointed out, hey, other teams in this league are going to chunk you when you come on cuts. We've got to return the favor.
It's a system, A&M, that requires their batteries to be charged 100%. As a result, they're down to practice in about 50 minutes when they go at it, and that's what they do to you. They speed you up, they get you guessing with your press offense.
Another steal for Isaacs, left short, Isaac's down on the baseline, and we're going to whistle and a foul against Kentucky. But this chaotic energy for A&M has brought the Aggies back in this game.
One thing you don't question about Texas A&M is how hard they play. And Bucky McMillan is not dating his style of play. He's married to it. It's a commitment 100% in his belief in how you're supposed to play the game and through his eyes. Has done a fantastic job of convincing his guys this is what we're going to build here in College Station.
3 SoCon titles at Samford, 2 regular season and 1 in the tournament. Nearly knocked off Kansas in the NCAA tournament. Federico misses the front end. Aggies have scored the last 7. Chandler picks up his dribble, gets it right back. Low give and go. And Kentucky will reset. It is constant communication and hand signals from Bucky McMillan to his team to get the defensive call and the changes throughout a possession.
Yeah. Well, he talks to his defense, and his guys talk to the ball. They're very good with their voices behind the ball. Are we icing? Are we trapping? Are you by yourself? Weak, weak, weak. I mean, they're such a hyper-aggressive defensive club, Tom. They have to be because they're so small. They can't play a traditional style of ball.
6 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Chandler's going to head to the corner. Noah opposite corner. Jasper Johnson for 3, and Chandler with the rebound. And then had Jelavic leaning the wrong way. Another Kentucky turnover. Coming up at 9 Eastern, Super Tuesday rolls on in Cincinnati with the Bearcats playing host to A.J. Dioubate and BYU. Wes Miller's team has gone 14-3 at home, 4th in the Big 12 in defense. And Dioubate scoring 25 points a game to lead the country.
Man, his usage rate was high before Saunders went out, and now that usage rate is right up there with the best of the NBA. Like, he's finishing off about 40% of every BYU possession right now. A&M doing a good job of dragging Kentucky into how they want this game to be played.
Messi, here's Dominguez.
Yeah.
Got it! It's a 10-0 A&M run.
It's almost a walk.
Noah for 3.
No. That is not the shot that Mark Pope wants with a run going on by the home team.
Out to Dominguez.
Bam.
Another! And the Aggies take the lead on a 13-0 run.
I've been talking about A&M trying to drag Kentucky into the style of game they want. Well, they just got drugged over the last 90 seconds. That full court pressure speeding you up, the three-point shooting. This is Bucky ball to perfection. They spread you out. They shoot that thing with confidence. 4 out of 5 guys can rise and fire anytime on the floor. They are very good, man, at finding those backside bombs. In a game that is huge for the Aggies, they find themselves with a lead.
Ruben Dominguez has shown up to play tonight.
Yeah, Tommy, he had over 150 pro games in international ball prior to coming to A&M. He's a 6'6" legit shooter that takes care of the ball. He only averages 4 turnovers every 100 possessions. That's the 3rd best mark in the country, but man, can this guy really stroke it? He's been a little hesitant with that shot the last 5 or 6 ball games. The athleticism in the league has maybe worn him down a little bit, but man, he's seen a really big rim right now at a key time for Texas A&M.
A&M started just 1 for 9 from deep, but it's made 3 of its last 4. And that's led to a 13-0 run. Kentucky had an 8-0 run earlier this game to open up a 12-point advantage. Now the Aggies have gone on one of their own. Here's Chandler.
Tom, Kentucky on pace for a 16-17 turnover ball game. That will not work in Reed Arena.
Aberdeen steps through. Well, the Cats have been at their worst. It's been allowing opponents to turn them over. There were even assisted turnovers in the home loss to Georgia, and it reared its ugly head again with 15 turnovers against South Carolina and a near win against the worst team in the league.
Yeah, I will say this about Kentucky. They've been the 3rd best defense in terms of defensive efficiency and SEC play, and on the road, man, they've got to lock in. They can't get offensive sensitive. They can't let the turnovers affect their defense.
They're a different team defensively away from Rupp Arena.
Why?
Dominguez
Why?
again.
Tom, I say why? Like, why dare him?
150 games of international play for the Spaniard. He is in a rhythm tonight.
If he makes a shot off the catch, that's on you. If he makes one off the bounce, so be it.
Here's Jelavic. That's no good.
Oh.
The misses for Kentucky have been wide. Dominguez, heat check.
Well, why not, though, huh?
I think he's going to stay on ice for very long.
The game is exactly what buckyball is. That there's no rhythm. It's chaotic. It's fast. Herky-jerky plays.
Aberdeen slices into Moreno, ends up picking up a foul charge to Oweh.
Well, Dominguez is seeing a huge rim. 4 out of 5. But even on the inbound pass, he catches it. And just a low, slow, late recovery by Oweh, who I love as a defender. That you cannot allow this to happen. This guy has proven he's right back into his shot groove tonight. A beautiful rotation of that basketball, very similar to Colin Chandler.
In and out for Moreno, who's at 70% from the stripe on the season. And Dominguez will get a chance to catch his breath.
Tom, with a guy like Dominguez or even Colin Chandler defensively, you've got to run right with them. You almost like grab them in transition, run with them, even if it's not your guy. Those are no space guys on the scouting report.
Missed them both. Knocked out of bounds by Oweh. Kentucky thinking about a challenge here. You got to be quick with the iPad. And Bucky McMillan saying, all right, let's go ahead and put the ball in play. A&M runs at a great tempo, top 30 in the country in tempo, 13th in the country in time of possession. 3 ball.
Yeah.
Oh, victory lap for Griffin.
Anytime he goes to the corner, it's zoom action or flex action. It's action to get him open for a shot. We're too deep in the season for Kentucky not to realize that.
Aggies have scored 19 of the last 21 in this game. Back to the bigs, Moreno. Back into the corner for Chandler. Pump fake, flew right by. And here comes Isaacs.
Wow.
Beautiful finish on a burst by Dioubate.
That motor is 100 RPMs right now for the home team.
Another run for the Aggies, 8-0. Moreno misses at the rim again.
And Pop Isaacs maybe rolled that ankle a little bit, but Rylan Griffin, 3 and white. Anytime he goes to that far corner, it's going to be some type of action to get him coming off. Zoom action, he can baseline cut and pop off, flex action, but when he goes left corner, that play is going for Rylan Griffin, 3-point shot.
A couple different stops for Griffin, Alabama, and then Kansas went to the Final Four with Nate Oates' team a couple of years ago. Was a starter on that squad. One of 2 former Jayhawks on this A&M team, including Clements, who's been in foul trouble, only played the first few minutes and picked up 2. Mid-range jumper is good for Griffin. He's got 8.
Good job by Griffin to reject the ball screen and take what the defense gave him. Man, look at this pressure. Just relentless. Bucky calls it mother-in-law defense. It's relentless, nagging, harassing pressure at all times.
I don't understand. Mine is a great hook. Here's Moreno looking inside. A fistful of jersey for Hill. It's the first on Marcus Hill. 10-0 Texas A&M run. Final weekend of the men's college basketball regular season. We've got some great rivalry matchups for you Saturday on ESPN and the app. Games start at noon Eastern. Game day will be at Cameron. Tip off the day at 11. Duke hosts number 17 Carolina. Then Auburn meets up with number 16 Alabama, and Texas Tech heads to Provo to take on BYU.
Tom, only 3 freshmen have ever led a national champion in scoring.
Here's Chandler, in and out.
And we could have it again this year. Jalil Okafor did it for Duke, Anthony Davis for Kentucky, Carmelo Anthony for Syracuse. But Cam Boozer could do that for Duke this year and be the fourth guy to, as a true freshman, lead his team in scoring to a national title. Braden Burries from Arizona, freshman, could do the same thing.
Second personal for Mohamed Dioubate. And with 1:04 remaining in the first half, Jimmy, this game has turned into a very comfortable pace for Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Sean Agee from Chicago, New Mexico State, then Bowling Green, then USC. Wears number 12 to represent 12th man here at A&M.
Can't represent it any better than this guy. I mean, he's got a spirit about him. He's got a great voice. Wants to be a coach someday. If he's not a broadcaster, he told me. But he watches more film and controls that locker room better than anybody else that Bucky McMillan has.
He is one double-double away from Tyler Davis's A&M school record.
You don't want to let Kentucky run their half-court offense. It's a lot of really good action. Cute action is how A&M described it.
Oweh lost his man Griffin, but he has been way off tonight. 2 games ago, he was in failed to get to double digits for the first time this season, and now Agee gets an N1.
They're just the more aggressive team is the only way to describe it.
Bucky McMillan told you at shoot-around today, we will bring the fight. It may have taken a little bit to get the engine primed, but boy, have they.
Well, they're doing it right now. That's just good basketball. The middle third of the floor. 2-man game, well executed. Agee is so good, Tom, because he's only about 6'5½", but man, he is cat quick and strong with those shoulders. When he rolls out the 2-man game, his eyes are on that basketball. He's a big, wide target, soft set of paws. A game that the Aggies have to have. They have come with desperate effort over the last 15 minutes in this game.
Their postseason odds jump with the win tonight. The difference between a win or a loss is 23 percentage points. 82% chance to get in with a win against Kentucky, and LSU still remaining before Nashville. Aggies have scored, Jimmy, the last 14.
18 on the shot clock because of pressure. Kentucky not into anything yet.
Cats won for their last 12. Moreno foul. First on Federico. Well, Texas A&M got up to a rollicking start this season. They got a net ranking of 43, 4-6 against quad 1 opponents, undefeated, and not a bad mark against them against 3 and 4.
Well, he's got 9 conference wins in his first year, and Bucky McMillan was the last Power 5 coach hired in the offseason. He got the job really late. And the next day, he went with his boosters and said, look, I've got $500,000 basically in NIL. That won't get me 1/2 of a player. And they stepped up and supported this guy to get him a good roster his first year, not a great roster.
How did they only have $500,000 in the piggy bank?
That thing was left empty from the previous regime. No players coming in, but Bucky McMillan went out, got a heck of a staff. Kyle Keller, Frank Haith, TJ Cleveland, all those guys have been around for a long time. And Bucky feels like he can build A&M into a Sweet 16 team year after year after year, and I'm right there with him.
Shot clock is off for Texas A&M. It's a 14-1 run. Agee offers a screen with his backside. 5 to shoot. Now 3 on the clock. Into the corner for 3 at the buzzer. Oh, that would have been a perfect ending to what was a great back end of the first half for Texas A&M. Aggies will take a 12-point lead into the locker room thanks to heating up from behind the arc. After being 1 for 9, Dominguez and company make 5 of their last 8. And Ruben Dominguez showing great range from all over the state. Hit one from Snook, hit one from dime box, and he hit a few here in his first half. 4 threes. We'll get to the studio. Kevin Connors and company after this timeout. Welcome to Super Tuesday, presented by Progressive. What a first half for Ruben Dominguez. And the Aggies of Texas A&M, his best game in over a month. 4 for 5 from deep on his way to 14 first-half points, and Texas A&M, desperately needing a win, is in good shape at the break. They were once down 12 and now up 12. Welcome back courtside. Tom Hart alongside Jimmy Dykes. This was a rock fight early, but once A&M found its rhythm, started turning Kentucky over, this game shifted.
Tom, I've always said it, desperate teams in March are dangerous teams, and that's what Kentucky is up against right now with 20 minutes to go from Texas A&M. They know they're one good win away from securing their spot. What have they done? They drug Kentucky into the style of game that we have to play if we're going to win. That's a high possession game, moving the ball, making three-point shots, and they've done it. They've already knocked down 6, have the Aggies. And on the flip side, they have defended the three-point line like they've done all year. Kentucky only 2 shots made from that three-point arc. And that just speaks to the system and the style and the fight that Mark Pope finds himself in right now in College Station with 20 to go.
Aggies scored 27 of the last 30 points in the first half. And meanwhile, for Dominguez, already in the first half, more points, the most points for him since January 13th. And A&M's overtime loss at Rocky Top. So here we go, second half coming your way. Bucky McMillan has shifted his second half starters to match group that went on the run opposite Clements, and there's the value of a win today for Texas A&M. Opportunities for the big dance jump to 82%. Sean Agee can't finish and gets it right back and does.
How good was that? And A&M, they just search and hunt for that empty corner 2-man game involving Agee, but he missed a shot and was the first guy to the ball. Again, just outworking Kentucky.
On pace for his 12th double-double of this season. Jelavic for 3. That's a big one. Andrea Jelavic. Well, Mark Pope at shoot-around today was concerned about fatigue with his starting backcourt specifically. Clements with an answer. And his point was A&M's backcourt plays 20, 22 minutes a game. Mine plays well into the 30s. I've got to get some rest, my guys, at key points. When he chose to do that in the first half, that's when A&M took over.
Well, Kentucky's rattled to start this second half. Look at Agee, missed the shot, and then win the fight to the ball. He just goes and gets everything, man, with 2 hands. Nothing done with 1 from Rashawn Agee.
He is part of their bench production tonight. 31 points from the bench. They average 36 from the bench per game. And Bucky McMillan's lineup shuffle has played off.
Got to be
the
there.
bench is feeling it.
Tom, you got to be there. I mean, yeah, did he make a great shot? Yes, but Zach Clements is 6'11" and shoots over 40%. You've got to make him put the ball on the floor.
Aberdeen goes under Agee, but then Clements comes away with the block. Hill works his way down the lane, and he's fouled by Aberdeen. That is the 3rd personal on Kentucky's point guard.
Tom, 8 made threes for Texas A&M in this game. They come in making 10, right behind Alabama in the SEC lead, but they move the ball so well. The Aggies do. They throw strikes. I think they're a good passing team, which you have to be a good shooting team. But man, Kentucky, if you're not there on the catch, you've got to run guys off the three-point line. And the Aggies responding, knowing we are one good win away from securing our spot in that NCAA tournament. A lot of work left to go, but man, good start to the second half.
ESPN from Reed Arena and Bryan College Station. Here's a look at the standings. Tennessee already in the clubhouse with the win tonight at South Carolina, 78-59. Missouri is trailing on the road in Norman against Oklahoma, down 14. Top 4 seeds get a double bye in the SEC tournament. And coming into tonight, Kentucky could have finished anywhere from 3rd through 10th. And that'd be the difference in watching your team on the first day versus getting a double bye. Another free throw coming for Hill.
Tom, the SEC was the best conference in all of college basketball last year. And this year, they're the #1 ranked league again, according to KenPom, right ahead of the Big Ten and the Big 12. Now, does the Big 12 have a couple of more teams in terms of looked at as true national title contenders, yes. But this league, the SEC again this year, will have more teams in the NCAA tournament than any other league, maybe tied with the Big Ten. It's been that good again.
It's been up and down for this A&M team specifically. They had a horrible last month after leading the league almost through the first trip through at the end of January. They come in today having lost 6 out of 8. The 6 losses in February are the most in a single month since 2019. Well, right now, Bucky McMillan's team is on a 36-6 run to take control of this one. It would be a signature win at home against Kentucky.
Kind of runs that he went on as a high school coach back in Alabama, won 5 state championships. He changed how Alabama high school basketball is played when he became a head coach right out of college.
Nice move by Mo Dioubate. He was the National Coach of the Year in high school, won 5 state championships at Mountain Brook High School over a 12-year period.
Developed his system as the head coach of the Alabama Ice AAU program. That's where they really started going back and forth. And a better job by Kentucky now being aggressive just since that last time out.
Back-to-back buckets for Dioubate. Kentucky was at its best in the first half when the bigs were getting work in the paint. Here's Isaacs, past Moreno and into the corner for Clements. Again.
Yeah. That is called a backside bomb. Just Clements sitting there waiting for it. And Pop Isaacs knew exactly where he was going with that ball from the first bounce.
Oweh with the left hand, and Moreno, but a whistle prior to.
Tom, A&M is a lot like Alabama. They keep those corners filled with shooters. And you're going to keep an eye on Clements right here. But from the first bounce of the ball, hold it right there. Pop Isaacs knew the entire time the ball was going here. And that's just understanding spacing and spreading and what our strength is. Clements with good feet discipline in that tight corner to not step backwards into his shot. Just a lot of really good things done on that possession.
Moreno has it stripped away. Another Kentucky turnover. Rylan Griffin went right around Aberdeen. A&M has brought the fight tonight. Now, we weren't in the Kentucky locker room. I don't imagine Mark Pope was very happy at halftime, but one sign that he wasn't. Kentucky came out for second half warm-ups with the t-shirt cannon still on the floor. They came out with 6 minutes left on the halftime clock.
Tom, if we want to speed up college basketball, I know we all do, timeouts don't need to be 15 minutes. Let's make them 10 minutes and at least shave 5 minutes off. Man, talking about shaving things off, man, these guys, they rip and run. The Aggies do off of a steal.
1 and 2 seeds for March Madness. Well, tough to argue with the top 4, though Florida stating its case after another blowout victory for the Gators.
And Tom, it's so important for the committee, not Joe Lunardi, but for the committee to get the 1s and 2 seeds right. The reason why I say that, 9 out of the last 10 national champions and 16 out of the past 20 have been a 1 or 2 seed. They've got to get those 2 lines right. And I think Florida is right there with the best of them in the country right now. Just a monstrous front line that Kentucky will face Saturday in Rupp.
Clements tries to back his way in, working on Oweh. Chandler shuffles it out. Here's Aberdeen. Denzel Aberdeen underneath and draws a whistle. Jimmy, this is normally about the time and a half where Mark Pope would go to his reserves. But to this point, only Garrison and Dioubate as opposed to going deeper in the backcourt.
Well, he's down right now, and you want your best guys on the floor for major minutes, and he's been continuing to battle that 32 minutes, 36 minutes. I just think you're at the time in March right now where your practices are cut down to no more than an hour, and you get your guys game fresh ready and just empty the tank with your best 5 or 6 guys.
That was a third on Clements. He has to go to the bench again.
Come, I mentioned Florida's front line. Think about this. The combination of Chinyalu, Hauk, and Condon. 730 pounds, 20 feet 6 inches. Wow, that's what you're dealing with.
Dominguez was red hot early, finds AG, and Oweh thought he got all ball. Instead, he picks up the personal foul, his first. Here's our ESPN NBA Wednesday doubleheader. It's the Western Conference leading Thunder finishing up their 3-game road trip against Jalen Brunson and the Knicks, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Then the Bucks host the Hawks. NBA Countdown Crew tips off coverage at 6:30. SGA giving the Thunder 32 points and 6.5 assists a game.
Time I think about guys in the NBA, and a lot of them have come through the Chicago Public League, like Rashawn Agee has, which is one of the toughest environments you can play in. I remember recruiting as a young coach, and I was recruiting the Chicago public schools, and I had a contact in Chicago. His name was Tree.
Oh.
To this day, I still don't know his last name. He's still in my phone. Tree, but man, he knew everybody. He knew the back roads, he knew the players, he knew the assistant coaches. So Tree, if you're out there, my man, thanks for all the help. Still don't know your last name, but you did a lot of good things with me.
AG was the Illinois Player of the Year. Look at this. Josh Holloway takes it all the way to the rim.
This one team's playing harder than the other, and they're playing better. The combination of both.
Bucky McMillan promised you after shoot-around today that they would come with energy, and boy, have they.
He sure did.
It is a 21-point lead. Aberdeen short. Gets his own miss and gets it to go. This is a Kentucky team which has been on a roller coaster ride. Back cut and tip out. They started the season a frustrating 5-4, then won 4 in a row. Then the Cats lost 2, won 5, lost 1, won 3, lost 3, won 2, and now down double digits, even though they have 4 double-digit second-half comeback wins. Oweh fouled by Dominguez.
Well, the hardest playing dudes get things done, and Texas A&M just right down the gut, man. You don't secure that paint in the middle third of the floor. That is easy money for good guards at this level. I just kind of sense from Bucky's tone today at the shoot-around, a little different than what I heard from him last week at Arkansas. Just the seriousness in his voice, the attention to detail, making sure they stay on schedule. Talking to his guys very clear, keeping the game plan simple, talking about how we play. We know what we're supposed to do tonight.
They get 2 cracks at that next win, which would give them 11 conference wins.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 10, or then 11 going into Nashville. And he said, I just want to go into Nashville relaxed. Get this one, get both of them, then I'll be buying you guys beers.
Yeah, he did. Well, not me, because I'm a Diet Coke guy, but he made a great point to his guys, Tom, that this time of the year, you got to win your individual matchup, and Texas A&M has won those more tonight than Kentucky.
Yeah. Name one that Kentucky has won. Here's Griffin working on Noah, and he gets the foul.
And there's not one. Maybe they've tied a couple of them, but the individual one-on-one battles have been won by that home team.
A&M has forced 9 Kentucky turnovers. The Aggies have only turned it over twice. And Rylan Griffin, senior from Dallas, out of Dallas Richardson at the free throw line. He was at Richardson. They were the #1 public school in the country and finished 2nd in the nation. .6'5", 181. This undersized Texas A&M team trying to snap a 2-game losing streak.
Well, as fast as the Aggies play all year long, they came in averaging under 10 turnovers a game in conference play, and to only have 2 with the pace as this thing has gone, man, has his guards been tight with that ball.
A&M was 7-1 through its first 8 conference games. First place on February 1st. Trying to regain that form. Otega Oweh. Skip pass with 3 seconds to shoot for Aberdeen. Hard screen into the corner for Oweh, and that's good.
They're going to check it.
They might. They're going to go to the monitor. KB Burdett wasted no time, and Don Daly was in agreement that they'd go take a look. Was it on the screen that picked off Dominguez before the pass into the corner?
Because that was friendly fire there.
Yeah.
I think they're checking, did he get it off in time? And clearly did, yeah.
After
like
review,
0.4.
shot was good.
Yeah.
Occurred before the expiration of time.
I was afraid we wouldn't get a monitor trip.
The last time A&M played here on Saturday, they had a foul occur on the jump ball.
Yeah.
Jump ball. There's a foul occurred as they're going up. AG got fouled hard, and I've never seen it called in ball before. That's how they started the game.
Well, it looked like Oweh had knocked that out of bounds, but it'll be the opposite way. Yeah, Modest Boykatitis picked up his first, and Sean Miller's like, it's hard enough to keep my big out of foul trouble.
Yeah, right.
We haven't had a second go off the clock.
Yeah. There's plenty of time left.
McMillan's going to challenge it.
Yeah, he is.
And the guys sitting in the courtside seats were the first ones to call for it to happen right in front of them. I thought Oweh hit it right here, but it certainly looked like it went off of Isaacs.
Coach from Texas A&M is challenging the out-of-bounds call.
So it's Oweh's right hand, but watch how the ball changes direction right there off of Isaacs.
I think it's off Oweh. I think he's reaching behind, right? He's reaching behind Clements, and his right hand's the last one to slap it. I don't think it grazed Pop Isaacs after Oweh touched it. Right there, did it graze Isaacs' leg?
Yeah, I got it hit in his left thigh.
One angle looks one way and one angle looks the other. Yeah, I think that ball changes just a slight direction when it comes down off the leg of Isaacs right there.
Yeah, that really looks like it changed direction from that angle. But.
And looking at Isaacs' reaction, I think he felt it too.
I'd like to request that we get a Jimmy Dykes-sized TV courtside next time, so we can have the
no doubt.
60 inchers that you watch the NFL on.
Yeah, look
Sundays.
at real quick and move on.
Well, after video review, Texas A&M coach's challenge is unsuccessful. He lost that timeout, and it'll be Blues ball.
So BYU and Cincinnati coming up tonight at 9 o'clock on ESPN2. The nation's leading scorer, A.J. Dioubate, giving BYU 25 points a game. BYU is just 500 in Big 12 action. 8-8 against league opponents. And what a job by Wes Miller to turn around Cincinnati this year.
Yeah.
It looks like he was under a lot of pressure and moving to the hot seat.
Tom, I really think in the offseason we're going to move towards the appeals and the challenges being under the same umbrella now. Do we come up with a list of what can be challenged and how many do you have? I don't know, but there's momentum right now and talk going that direction. Led by the SEC, actually. He's out in front of it.
7 on the shot clock. Oweh and AG with the reach in, I believe. Let's see who they got. If it's on Clements, it's 4.
So when you're playing, Tom, when you're playing from behind, you want to win the race to the bonus. And right now, A&M with 5 fouls, Kentucky only 3. So there are some things right now with 12:50 to go that Kentucky has to work with.
So 2 shots for Otega Oweh.
I walked in the gym today, and Otega came over and said, "Man, I'm glad you're here. I always play well when you're here." I said, "Otega, you're in double figures every time you play." I like the credit, but it's not me. Trust me.
Are you sure he didn't ask you why you weren't at the South Carolina game?
That's the one game I wasn't at. He's just a warrior, man. Otega Oweh, just the heart and soul of this Kentucky team. His belief, his inner voice. Mark Pope just brags on and on about how this guy's wired.
See if the Aggies can keep the pedal down. Outscored Kentucky by 3 in the second half after leading by 12 at the break. AG guarded by Aberdeen. Out to Dominguez. Oweh climbed the ladder, get his hands on that one.
A big trip right here.
A&M without a field goal over the last 2.5 minutes.
And you want Aberdeen and Oweh getting in that paint, making plays happen.
And there it is, but he never got control of the basketball. Griffin gonna push, and continuation will count it.
What a controlled play in chaos by Rylan Griffin, because he's bringing this thing with speed and force. But he's going to read that defender on his inside shoulder. He brings this thing up, Tom. Watch 3 and white. He just kind of sizes up Jasper Johnson right here, and right there gets the contact, gets the ball away from Brandon Garrison with a long reach on the left side, and count it.
Rylan Griffin's got 14 points so far tonight, better than his season average. He's coming off of a 4-point game in a home loss to Texas. Full court pressure for A&M. Aberdeen turns into a 3-on-2. Here's Noah. That has been a long time coming. Trent Noah didn't make a shot all of last month. Let's go back to January 31st against Arkansas for his last bucket.
Yeah, but it's a short month. 28 days in February.
Fair. Better to be better in March anyway, right?
Yeah. Look at this.
Griffin right over the top.
I mean, that's just on Kentucky, I'm telling you. I understand it's a tough coverage shot, but anytime the Aggies are making shots not off the bounce, that's on Kentucky in this game.
Back to Noah. Moreno's got position. They didn't get it to him. Here's Oweh in the corner. And Moreno kept it alive and stepped on the inline. Another Kentucky turnover, 11th of the game.
Good job by Holloway, a small guard, to come down and get in a fight. Kind of tie Moreno up. This is what I'm talking about with Texas A&M. Rylan Griffin just stands there, measures it up. Trent Noah on his heels instead of coming towards the shooter, making 3 and white bounce it. And he says, thank you very much.
Let's take you back to halftime. Kentucky came out of its locker room early with 6 minutes on the clock. The T-shirt cannon was still firing into the stands as the Kentucky players came out to get warmed up. I suppose Mark Pope had run out of things to say at intermission, Jimmy Dykes.
Yeah, sometimes it's just short and simple. Like, we got to play better, we got to play harder, and quit turning the dadgum ball over. But look at the guys just driving through the players to get the, excuse me, to get the T-shirt cannon off the floor. To my point, we could save 5 minutes and not be gypped so much by shaving halftime down to 10 minutes instead of 15. I've been there as a coach.
Well, what about the T-shirt cannon vendors? Now all of a sudden we're not going to have T-shirt cannons?
They just got to come faster.
Okay, that's fair enough.
And Scooby the dog's got to be a little quicker with the halftime
Come
show.
on, Scooby.
We don't need 15 minutes.
Here's AG. And Chandler was tied up with Isaacs after a career-high game on Saturday. Colin Chandler is just 1 for 4 in this one.
It's one thing to force turnovers, it's another thing to score off of them. Texas A&M, they forced 10 turnovers and 18 points off of them. Really good ratio. Backside bomb again was there.
Griffin decides to drive, and it's off of Kentucky. All the great nicknames for Kentucky teams of the past, including the Unforgettables. This team picked up a nickname early this season, Jimmy, the Unpredictables.
No, and they have lived up to it, have they not? Because I thought, I mean, you were there Saturday. I thought that was one of Kentucky's best games of the season.
That looked like a team that could be playing in the Elite Eight for a chance to go to the Final Four with all of the weapons they showed, and the addition of Chandler shooting well. Griffin.
Yeah. Whoa! I mean, just time and time again, ball screen, guys aren't switching up, not forcing A&M to do something different other than just dial up a clean 3.
21-point lead. Griffin has tied his career high with a 21-point outburst. Both of his 21-point games have come against Kentucky. That one goes for the Cats. First three of the game for Oweh. So if you're Bucky McMillan, how do you handle the final 10 as you're looking for a signature victory with an 18-point lead? Do you keep the hammer down?
Well, you do, but I don't like that one by Ryland Griffin. The ball never got reversed. Kentucky didn't have to move. It's hard to score on the first side of a defense. Stay aggressive, but make Kentucky work defensively. And
what a strong move.
Yeah, there's a lot of time left in this game. We do know this, A&M, they're vulnerable on the glass. They're vulnerable to defending inside.
Dominguez for three. That's no good. And another offensive rebound. To your point, you made it earlier in the game in the first half. The defensive rebounds have to be extended, but the Aggies get their 9th of the game. Long shots, long rebounds. Dominguez challenged three. Wow. Chandler was in his pocket, and he still hit it.
Kentucky let him get going in the first half, and he has not cooled off. This is a guy who was absolutely struggling the last 7 or 8 games from distance.
Isaacs whips it to AG, and he's fouled by Dioubate.
Tom, guys that have played 150-plus pro games in international ball, they know how to get themselves open. Look, there's a subtle push-off, boom, right there by Dominguez to get his own separation. And the rise and fire. He is quite a weapon, and when that three-point shot is falling, you play him a ton of minutes because he absolutely makes shots and doesn't turn it over.
For the Aggies, 2 shots at the line. By number 12.
So A&M was out of sorts early, 1 for 9 from deep. Bucky McMillan's team has knocked down 11 of its last 17. What do you think Tree's scouting report was on Rashawn Agee?
Tough kid, undersized. Interesting you bring that up because I was talking to Rashawn Agee last week in Fayetteville. You know, he's their big at 6'6", surrounded by 4 guards a lot of times. He said that's exactly what his high school team was. He was the inside guy surrounded by 4 guards, so he knows how to play in that 4-around-1 system. Ran some similar backdoor cuts, some pressure releases. He's the perfect fit, although he's undersized in this Bucky ball system.
Played at Bogan Tech on the southwest side of Chicago. Jasper Johnson gives it up. Oweh to Aberdeen for 3. And a fight for the rebound taken over the end line by Agee.
Tom, I drove a Tree around for probably 5 hours one day in Chicago, like hitting all these high schools and workout facilities. And he just hung with me all day. And at the end of the day, I said, hey, man, I'm taking you to the best restaurant in Chicago when we're done, wherever you want to go. He said, okay, go to the right, take a left, go down 2 miles, take a right. Pulled in. This, best McDonald's in Chicago. That was my man Tree.
I've been to that one. He's Dioubate. I'm guessing he didn't get the nickname Tree because he was an arborist. Dioubate rolls it in and he's fouled. How tall was Tree?
He's about 6'4". I'm a big fan of Mo Dioubate. Just what he stands for, transfers in, accepts his role. Just continues to fight, make plays right through you, doesn't go around you, not interested in avoiding contact. Kid's a warrior.
Into double figures. He got it done at the free throw line last time out in the win against Vandy. Went 6 of 8 from the charity stripe. His first free throw attempt tonight. Chandler back on the floor. Aberdeen heads to the bench.
Tommy, look at that 1 seed line right now and think about that NCAA tournament. Man, there's 3 teams, maybe 4, that it's title or bust.
Dioubate on the offensive glass.
Up to my point, that's what he does. He's the kind of guy you keep on the floor when you're down on the road because you're going to continue to fight and battle. But Duke, Arizona, Michigan, I throw Florida in that group now. It's title or bust for those teams in terms of the outlook and what they think they will do in March.
John Calipari almost got in a fight with Todd Golden in the Florida win over Arkansas in Gainesville. They both got double technicals. That was on Saturday night, and asked about it earlier. Cal said, I just wanted it to be over quicker. Here's Oweh.
We do know this about Kentucky. They can be down 14, they can be down 17. Mark Pope said today, we ain't afraid of drama, and we are resilient. Still enough time left for the Cats.
Well, Mark Pope promised drama, and Kentucky has produced plenty of it this season, including this walk-off winner. Chandler to Moreno on the road at LSU for a 1-point victory. And then Colin Chandler kept the clutch with the steal and the push ahead. It was a comeback on the road on Rocky Top. They also did it at home against Tennessee. 14 points at the break. Storm back for a 3-point win. A goat do what a goat do. And this Kentucky team, when it's playing well, Jimmy, never out of a game.
Yeah, so inconsistent, though. I mean, to me, the best wins in the league right now, Auburn at Florida, Kentucky at Arkansas. Those are two great wins, but their lack of consistency game to game, sometimes half to half, I know, has been frustrating for Mark Pope, who's tried to push every single button he can as a head coach. And they still got a chance right now, but this next 3:29 before we get to the under 4 media timeout is crucial.
So Garrison at the free throw line. Kentucky has been, over the course of the season, by leaps and bounds, a better second half team than first half team.
Tom, it's hard to come back when you can't force turnovers. Kentucky's defense just not doing it. A&M only 3 turnovers in this game.
Does it help a team like Texas A&M, given that over the course of the season, when they're practicing against each other, like Bucky McMillan said, they went really hard yesterday. They face a style that's trying to force you to turn it over?
Absolutely, it helps. It may have been their 4th turnover, as we pointed out.
He said the second team outplayed the first team yesterday, and that led at least partially to him shuffling the starting lineup coming into tonight's contest. First ever starting 5.
Tom, if you're not careful late February and early March, you can lose your edge. It's a fine balance of how hard do we practice, how hard do we not. And the bench points are just massive tonight in favor of Texas A&M because of that change in the starting lineup.
Oweh goes back door. Whoa, 2-hand jam.
Really nice feed by Garrison. It kind of went at the zoom action, and Oweh just broke it off like he did in the first half.
Hill with the power dribble and the spin move pulls a foul on Oweh, his second.
When Oweh gets on the side of the floor by himself, he's going to back cut you more than come and get that DHO. And you get the defense hugged up on the weak side. That's just easy money. Good job by Pop Isaacs to bail out and not compound the problem. Very important next 2.5 minutes here for Kentucky to have some confidence, some little momentum, some game pressure on Texas A&M at that under 4 media timeout.
Here's Marcus Hill, better at the free throw line in conference play than he is overall. Flanks the first. Hill transferred in from NC State. He was a leading scorer for the Wolfpack last year, nearly 12 points a game. Prior to that, first team all-conference in the MAC for Bowling Green. Was a 20-point scorer. Speaking of the MAC, Miami, Ohio hasn't been to the NCAA tournament since '07. They put their undefeated record on the line tonight against Toledo. And then Friday, should they survive tonight, they get Ohio. Battle of the Bricks on ESPN2 Friday night.
Yeah, people say that Miami of Ohio haven't beaten anybody. They're wrong. They've beaten everybody.
Everybody.
We need an Auburn versus Miami of Ohio pay-per-view made-for-TV event right now.
Can Bruce Pearl be the hype man? Push ahead to Hill. Oh, Garrison climbed the ladder, then a spike off of him laying on the inline, and that'll be Kentucky basketball.
One of the bigger effort plays by Brandon Garrison in the Kentucky uniform. To sprint that floor and just eat the ball up top. Look at Garrison coming from behind, and then save it with the recognition of throwing it off of an Aggie player.
Now A&M picks him up full court. Home crowd with a negative reaction to that one on the replay. That's simply a basketball
Absolutely
play.
It is.
And a smart one at that. Here's Aberdeen. Just 9 points tonight on 4 of 9 shooting. Dioubate almost forgot the basketball. Oweh's been the go-to, and he draws a whistle against Dioubate.
Well, Mark Pope, when he goes off script, what I mean by that, when they get behind, he just gets a whole lot of action for Aberdeen and Oweh getting downhill. Either off of a dribble handoff or a cut out of the far side corner. Maybe sometimes a middle ball screen, but they go away from their play calls. He starts trusting his playmakers, Oweh and Aberdeen.
Shooter Dominguez back on the floor as Dioubate takes a seat. Let's go Oweh 7 of 8 from the free throw line tonight. He had 30 consecutive games in double figures to tie Malik Monk's record. SEC Women's Tournament begins tomorrow at the Well in Greenville, South Carolina. SEC Network will have all first and second round games, as well as the late quarterfinal games. Tony Taylor's Aggie team is on the wrong side of the bubble right now. They need a couple of wins to feel better about their spot. First round coverage begins 10:30 a.m. Eastern, 9:30 Central with the SEC Now crew.
There'll be a couple of 1 seeds in that NCAA tournament coming out of the SEC. I'm in the camp, Tom, that UCLA should be the overall #1 seed based on the metrics. Undefeated regular season Big Ten champions. UCLA beat 11 ranked teams. They have 14 quad 1 wins, which is more than anyone in the country. I understand the UConn eye test and UConn brand. Right now, most people projecting UConn as the #1 overall seed. I think there's a really strong case for UCLA as well.
They get Garrison for the push-off, his second personal foul. And with 5:44 to go, Rashawn Agee going to the free throw line. With the Aggies in the bonus.
12, Rashawn Agee to the line for Texas A&M.
Agee 77% from the free throw line on the season. He was perfect from the line in the loss to Texas, 4 for 4. And just 4 for 10 at the line tonight. Garrison.
Man, he has been good the last 2 minutes. Very active and confident. That's one of those possessions where Texas A&M, they line up zone, and after about the second or third pass, boom, they're into man. Good job finding Garrison at the elbow.
See what Bucky McMillan is called from the A&M sideline. Here's Isaacs off the curl and gets another screen from Agee. They get a switch. Been over 4 minutes since the Aggies have gotten a bucket, and Isaac solves that.
Well, he's one of the 3 guys over 40% in conference play. They got the switch. And so quick, and a lot of pop in Pop Isaacs in that jump shot.
He has more field goals this season from the top of the key than he does at the rim.
That is his spot. Over 800 points at Texas Tech for 2 years. The guy is a bucket when he's on.
Nice share. Garrison blew the bunny. And then a push on Garrison.
Tom, do you know how hard it is to get the ball right at the rim in the SEC? It's extremely difficult, and you got to make those automatic twos, especially when you're fighting your tail off from behind on the road. And Garrison just misses one. I mean, he's just right there. There's just not much of an excuse you can make.
Well, Mark Pope is a process-driven coach in a lot of different ways. And he was talking to us about their offense today, and he said when we intentionally share the ball with each other, we're really good on the offensive end. Oweh did his job. Garrison did not. Dioubate at the free throw line, 5th-year senior from Stockholm, Sweden.
I'm thinking back, Kentucky had 9 assists, I think, on their first, 11 makes?
Yeah. What have we got since then?
Not that ratio. The ball movement has slowed down a little bit, but
it'd be 10 more assists on the last 15 buckets.
It'd be hard to stay 9 out of 11, though, wouldn't it?
It would be. Aggies by 18. And Dioubate with the foul and one.
He is one of those comeback guys, just body blows, tough buckets, stopping the clock, getting yourself to that free throw line. He's left-hand dominant, but he fakes that dribble handoff action and keeps it and turns that corner with quickness. Plays off a 2. Has he missed a shot tonight, Dioubate? I got 1. He's 7 out of 8. Man.
Second free throw attempt of the night for the junior from Queens. Track down his own miss, takes it right back up, and gets it to go, and will go back to the line.
Remember a couple minutes ago I said I love Mo Dioubate. It's because of those plays right there. Man, the resiliency in the heart of this Kentucky team, it's hard to put a measuring stick on. And that's just a lack of Dominguez being a physical checkout on the shooter. And Dioubate wins the foot race to the ball and the force to the rim. Kentucky right back in this game. I talked about the importance of where they're going to be at the under 4 media timeout. They are going to carry some momentum in if they finish off these next couple of possessions. Is it enough?
Noah replaces Moreno. Kentucky going smaller, at least for the next 12 seconds or so, and we get to the under 4.
Tom, coming on the air, I said I've been in the spot of Bucky McMillan before as a head coach. When you're on the cut line like A&M is, every possession feels enormous, and that was an enormous missed box off by Texas A&M.
Turns into a 3-point play for Dioubate. Kentucky now pressing. Dominguez brings it out. Another play call from Bucky McMillan. They've used a lot of clock when they've had the opportunity. Dominguez working on Oweh. Little hop. A lot of contact, let him play through it.
Boy, a 3-point shot here would be exactly what I called for a couple of minutes ago.
Oweh with Dominguez in front of him. That might have been it. Griffin the rebound. And Bucky McMillan has put A&M in football parlance into its 4-minute offense. This team over the course of the season is one of the quickest in terms of each possession, but they've taken the last few into the single digits. Oweh with the poke off of AG. It'll be Kentucky basketball when we return. 13-point A&M lead. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Progressive Insurance. Bundle home and auto and save. Visit progressive.com. IKC, thank you. Here in Aggieland, A&M's trying to secure its spot in the big dance, and their odds jump. Should they be able to hold on to this 13-point lead with 3:05 to play? Over the last 5 years, Kentucky is 0-13 in games where it fell behind by 20 or more. In that same span, A&M is 48-1. Here's Aberdeen. Kentucky has had looks, Jimmy, and key threes that could have turned the momentum at least. Oweh in the corner, and then Aberdeen top of the key.
Yeah, 2 guys you want taking shots right now if you can't get Colin Chandler loose. And the Aggies have done a good job of top blocking Colin Chandler, not letting him have clean looks at all in this second half.
Again, a long possession for A&M. AG takes it right down for the hammer. Exclamation point for the Aggies. This makes it a 15-point lead with 2:15 to play.
Look at Rashawn Agee. He gets that ball and just rip drives. Hand help out of the corner by Aberdeen is not near enough to stop number 12, who represents that jersey on this campus about as well as you can. That kid is full of heart and toughness, cares about the right things, just makes winning plays at key times.
Dioubate gets turned around and gets the whistle on Clements. Well, we will have a changing of the guard in the Commonwealth. The Dean of SEC Athletic Directors announced today that he'll be retiring in June. Mitch Barnhart, 24 seasons as the Director of Athletics at UK.
There's not anyone in college athletics that's respected more across the country than Mitch Barnhart. All the committees that he served on and been in charge of, brought national championships to Kentucky, men's basketball, volleyball, rifle. Kentucky's doing the right thing by keeping him on in a new title and keeping him involved. But boy, he has led that program for 24 seasons, which is almost unheard of these days, with faith a big part of his leadership, family a big part of his leadership. And he's one of those guys that will be missed, Tom, in the SEC. I know Commissioner Sankey really trusts the input from Mitch Barnhart. I'm sure that will continue. But Mitch, if you're watching, man, you know how much I love you and care about you and just appreciate all you've done for college athletics, not just Kentucky. I'm sure you feel the same way.
They've been on numerous committees, college football playoff committee and NCAA tournament committees. Great to have him stick around and continue to be able to draw from his institutional knowledge. Thought that press conference, if you will, turned into a revival on Masters Sunday when they announced Mark Pope to sold that crowd at Rupp Arena with something else.
Hope is not a plan. And that's what Pop Isaacs was doing that time, just hoping something good would happen by the time he got to the rim. One of the few mistakes these Aggie guards have made tonight.
Moreno back in the floor. Garrison gets a breather. Kentucky's ups and downs read like an EKG report, and this will be another down without a 14-point comeback and 2 minutes to play. Oweh rattles it home, and that comes with Florida coming to town on Saturday for Senior Day. We've got a 30-second timeout. Kentucky has made it an 11-point game to the Cardiac Cats. Have one more last-second comeback in them. Back in a half minute.
So it'll take Oweh doing all he can, as you would expect. Now 21 points on the night, jumps up and 6 a three-point shot. He's fought hard on the defensive end, trying to will Kentucky back in the second half. Probably too late, down 11 with 1:45 to go. If you're the Aggies right now, Tom, just stay clean with the ball. And let the history that he's continuing to make right now, right there behind Jamal Murray and Antonio Reeves for the most 20-point games in an SEC season for Kentucky. Man, quite a list to be on, along with Malik Monk.
That gives them, at least for a night, the SEC lead in 20-point games this season. Oh, my goodness. And then right over the seats. And Clements has got to try to work his way back over the bench. Darius Acup Jr. will try for his 13th tomorrow night. Arkansas hosts Texas.
Well, the press got into Aggies that time, and Zach Clements trying to save it.
So you want the expensive seats, do you?
Very fortunate that Zach Clements steps right back on the floor.
Very fortunate those two guys, who's 232 pounds, missed it. Noah bangs down a three.
Tom, I'm just getting ready to say, I don't like A&M going zone right there, because you're going to give up an open three-point look. Kentucky not going away.
Here come the Cats. They've made it an 8-point game.
And a walk.
And Aberdeen will get whistled for the reach-in instead.
I just think you stay matched up man-to-man and switch everything, and don't give Kentucky breath right now coming out of that sideline out of bounds. And Texas A&M they go zone, and 2 guys get on the ball up top, and that frees up Trent Noah. Didn't make a shot in February, but March has been much better to Trent Noah. I'm sure Bucky McMillan would like to have that defensive possession back.
Here's Zach Clements at the free throw line. 18 points from the free throw line for the Aggies tonight. And he knocks them both down. Leads back to double figures. A&M will keep the full court pressure on. Holloway picks up Aberdeen. And now matched up with Agee. Noah's hit a couple of shots, forces it, and it almost went in. He got the whistle, and with continuation being what it is, Trent Noah knew what he was going to do, and the sophomore from Harlan County High School will go to the line for 3.
What a smart play by Trent Noah, because A&M did a good job of getting out on him, and right there when the contact occurs, you're allowed one more step or a pivot, and Trent Noah, you teach your guys as soon as that continuous motion went into college ball, you hear the whistle, you get that shot up, and he almost had a chance for a 4-point play.
So the Harlan County Black Bear has 3 free throws coming his way. He's at 80% on the season. Mark Pope's going to get an entire line change in. And Noah unbothered by the public address announcer during his second free throw.
Talking right through it, isn't he?
Very NBA of them. Pope had gathered 2 of his guys on the floor and 2 more coming in over to kind of steal a timeout. Noah, of course, swishes all 3.
Well, the next offensive possession, if you're Texas A&M, you do not let Colin Chandler get free. You've done a good job the second half, but he is Kentucky's best pressure shooter.
After career high, he's only 1 for 4 from deep today. We approach the 1-minute mark. It's a 7-point A&M lead. Isaacs picked up by Garrison, who commits the foul near midcourt. That is the 4th on Brandon Garrison, and Pop Isaacs will go to the free throw line 76% on the season, but the first attempt of the night for the veteran.
Pop Isaacs, though, Tommy's a tough kid. And he talked about his 800+ points at Texas Tech. And he gets hurt at Creighton, transfers to Texas A&M, almost went to Houston, and then decided at the last minute to come to Texas A&M up the road. And
24, Moreno, and 9, Trent Noah returned for
just can't quite slam the door shut right now in Kentucky.
1 of 2 from the line for Isaac. Kentucky had few issues with the A&M press in the first few minutes of this game. Keep it on here. We're under a minute. Cats have scored 15 of the last 20. Noah no good. And Chandler fights for the rebound, and Trent Noah got injured on the jump shot. Oh, man, you hate to see this non-contact injury for Trent Noah. You hope it's a cramp, but I guess based on the training staff's reaction, it might just be.
Yeah. Did he step on someone after the shot? And he goes up and yeah, right there. Yeah, he stepped on Mark Pope. Wow. See that maybe once every 5 years.
What you get for having a coach with size 18s. Chandler off the inbound. Kentucky's got to hurry. Down 8. That's an air ball from Colin Chandler and a rebound by Griffin. Now Kentucky with a trap in the backcourt. Moreno with the bump.
Well, 34 seconds away, Texas A&M, I think, getting that last win they had to have to feel good about going to Nashville and an NCAA berth locked up. And if that continues to be what happens, I think that could very well be your SEC Coach of the Year, Bucky McMillan, considering when he took over this job, A&M had bottomed out in NIL money, no returning players signed. He comes in with a brand new system, guys that haven't played in the system, puts a staff together, and on his verge of winning his 10th SEC game. And I can make a case for Bucky McMillan. I can make one for Sean Miller at Texas in his first year. Todd Golden certainly has changed his team, but this guy will get a lot of votes, I think, for that SEC Coach of the Year, deservingly so.
Kentucky uses a timeout, down 9 with 34.1 remaining. Step away for a timeout. Don't go anywhere. See if Kentucky's got a miracle in its back pocket. Well, Kentucky trails by 9, and the biggest ovation of the night has occurred because there's a fight behind the Kentucky bench, and they're going to escort some Kentucky fans out. That's what all those fans and half the Kentucky bench might be looking at up halfway in the stand. And if the fight went anything like the game, that Kentucky fan's going to need an ice pack.
Yeah, A&M won. Boy, Riley Griffin. You remember the name on that Final Four team in Alabama, then went to Kansas and has found a really good footing here in this buckyball system. He's a big guy, Tom. At 6'6", legit, has a lot of pop. Look how high he elevates and explodes into those jump shots. But man, he has put up good numbers in this game. 21 points on a night that you knew the Aggies were going to bring a desperate effort. Could they finish it off, though, with high-level play? And Riley Griffin has been that.
It's an Aggie team with one shooting the ball really well coming into this one. He's 4 for 8 from 3, and the team has made 46% of its threes. Oweh has 23. 29 seconds remaining. And Isaacs uses a timeout.
I'm getting ready to say your one clean inbounds of the ball of winning the game. Can't take anything for granted right now. You got to make more than one cut. Talk it out and work it out. And if you're Aggies, you got to come back and get that ball in bounds and then finish this thing off. You've done too many good things to stumble your foot now.
Final weekend of men's college basketball regular season. Huge rivalry Saturday on ESPN and the app. College Game Day gets things started at 11 o'clock from Cameron Indoor, and then games roll your way at noon, and they include #1 Duke at home against North Carolina at 6:30, followed by Alabama playing host to Auburn, and the night capped off with Texas Tech and BYU.
Can you say the #1 team is underrated? Because I think that's what Duke is, as hard as they play. And we talk about their positional defense, and you and I saw them earlier this year, exhibition game in Tennessee, and we thought, man, they got the makings of a national title contender. But the best Duke team to not win it was last year. They followed up this year with one of the heavyweight favorites as we head down the stretch.
We'll flip it and do free throws on this side. Oweh with his third personal.
Remember how Cameron Boozer looked to us, Tom, back in October?
Goodness.
He was a man amongst boys that night in an exhibition game against Tennessee. Has not taken his foot off the gas. Will be the National Player of the Year for multiple reasons.
And what about North Carolina? 3 straight wins coming into tonight, playing in 6 games without Caleb Wilson. And they say he may come back for the Duke game.
Yeah, that's what Dave O'Brien was saying last night. Man, a big game for Kentucky now coming up Saturday in Rupp. Florida comes in. I'll be there with Carl Ravitch and Dick Vitale. And You'd expect Rupp to be at an eruption zone level. Kentucky played well at Florida. I did the game earlier this year. They were in that game for a long time, and they're going to have to regroup and find their footing for a Saturday afternoon start.
That's a sweet spot start, 4 o'clock Eastern at Rupp.
Dinner at the Merrick the night before. Is that what it's called? You ever been there? The Merrick?
That one's not in my budget.
Okay.
No.
It's not in mine either, but I'm not buying.
You're still hungry. Swing down to Tony's. Bucky McMillan talking with the crew. And another one coming for Isaacs. Got a little jump the gun on the sub as Dominguez had left the game. 9-point lead. What do you think the mood is going to be like at Rupp on Saturday?
It should be electric. You got the team coming in that has a chance to be a #1 seed, Florida, so they got a lot to play for as well. But Mark Pope, he knows. They've been resilient. They've been knocked down at Auburn and come back and get a good win.
You were there for the win against Tennessee. Nothing would surprise me with this Kentucky
No, not at
team.
all. No, not at all. Yeah, those 3 guards, they were held in check tonight for the most part, but Aberdeen, Oweh, and Colin Chandler can cause a lot of problems for anybody on a given night. They just faced a more desperate, more urgent team tonight in Texas A&M that played really well.
Griffin had left the game. They found him and put him back on the floor. Now Isaacs has been waiting for a while to knock down this free throw.
What have we done the last minute and a half in this building?
Nothing. We've accomplished nothing.
Josh Holloway returns for Texas A&M. Replacing Pop Isaacs.
And a whistle and a foul on Clements, who's coming away licking his chops.
Well, you got a chance to get it down to 8. You're going to sub in 2 of your better defenders, linked with Garrison and Dioubate.
.5 left. The deficit is 10 with Oweh at the free throw line. So you bang down these bolts, you go in the full court press again.
Yeah, absolutely you do.
Pop Isaacs returns for Texas A&M. 23, Dioubate. And 10, Garrison.
But Tom, if you're Texas A&M, you practice against the press every single day since back in August. So you should be organized and understand. I personally love the football play when you have to get it inbounds.
Well, he left it short. Dioubate had his hands on it. Bucky McMillan, before that free throw, came all the way to mid-court. He couldn't get the officials' attention.
He is all over Jason Baker. I don't know what the argument is.
So Dioubate at the free throw line after Oweh went 1 for 2. Dioubate having a nice night in the scoring column. Sit on 19.
Texas A&M with 1 timeout left, so you can't let that out of bounds count get to above 4 before you call one.
And the long rebound corralled by A&M. And they'll go to the line. All right, here's what Bucky McMillan was upset about on that free throw attempt from Otega Oweh. Bucky McMillan saw 6 guys on the court for Kentucky. That is a massive miss by this officiating crew.
6. How do you miss that? We knew Bucky McMillan had a point. He came all the way across half court, but I mean, there's just no way. And KB Burdett, Don Daly, and Jason Baker, as good as we got in this league, but that is a flat-out miss.
24, Moreno, and 2, Jasper Johnson returns for the Wildcats.
I see that happen, Jimmy, less than one time a year. I've never seen it happen at the free throw line.
No, where like guys are stationary. It's an easy count. Late game, you know substitutions are being made. It's one of the first things you do as an official is count 5 on 5 every time.
Last gasp effort for Kentucky. 12 seconds to play off the back of the rim. A&M will survive. Another trip to the free throw line coming from Marcus Hill. And this will leap the Aggies' odds in making it back to the NCAA tournament.
It is an outstanding year one under Bucky McMillan, who took the job. Again, he was the last Power 5 hire. Got the job in April, so that portal had been picked over for the most part. But he went and found guys that fit that Bucky system. He got a lot of guards that can handle it, shoot it. They've got motors. And here he is now, getting his 10th win in SEC play. Locking up an NCAA tournament berth. He's got a lot of good things to build on. He told me last week in Fayetteville, I really think I can make this Aggie program into a Sweet 16 team. Year after year after year, I've got everything I need. And well done by Bucky Ball tonight to have his guys ready after a tough loss to Texas on Saturday.
To be the 5th straight 20-win season for Texas A&M. Aberdeen downhill. To be their 3rd win in the last 4 against Kentucky. And Texas A&M will go into the season finale at 20-10 and 10-7 in league play. Kentucky, once again, the unpredictables, will go home to take on Florida on senior day and try to get right before Nashville. Bucky McMillan and A&M with the win. For Jimmy Dykes, our fantastic crew here in Aggieland, I'm Tom Hart. Let's get you to Miles Simon and Eric Rothman in Cincinnati for BYU Cincinnati.